Dale Jr. fan coming at you, fellow friends and fans, far and wide. Nearby the Pocono Mountains at the Tricky Triangle, Pocono Raceway, for the 14th round of NASCAR Sprint Cup Series action, as the 4th season is already, as we drop the green flag, the first half of the season. After a year of Season 4 beginning, 1 year later, already down at first half. That's good stuff. That's amazing. The last time the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series drivers raced here was 3 years ago in Season 1, and speaking of that race, Season 1 champion and current Roush Fenway driver Carl Edwards won that very race. In my opinion, I doubt he's going to win, but has a possible chance of coming in the top 5, top 10 when the checker flag flies as he crosses the stripe. Brad Keselowski supporting his own foundation. Ty Dillon in the 33, making his first ever NASCAR Sprint Cup Series appearance in a while. The same goes with Ricky Stenhouse Jr. with Sonny D on board. And perfect timing too, since summer is coming to an end in a month. Kyle Jr. and Sr. still looking for their first win. Paul Menard, he did compete for the All-Star race. In the showdown, sadly did not advance to the All-Star race. Who else? The same goes for Michael Annett in the 47 car. He may stay in that car number and the same sponsor with Sunoco on board next season. We just don't know what's going to happen in Season 5. We're not even there yet, so it's too early to look in the doors for Season 5 right now. It's too early for that. But I will tell you this. Season 3 and defending NASCAR Sprint Cup Series champion Matt Kenseth picks up a new sponsor, Circle K, and he will win the pole position for the second race in a row after a strong and impressive run coming at Charlotte. And now here at Pocono, he will be the fastest car in qualifying, win the pole. Can he win this race and break that winless drought? Since the last win came 1 year ago, last season, at Infineon Raceway. Casey Kane making a splash in the Aquafina paint scheme, the first time since Las Vegas 1 year ago this season. Devontae 35, prefers the nickname Jimmy Johnson 1, making his first ever presence in the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series. Repeat, this is his first ever NASCAR Sprint Cup Series start for NASCAR fan 77's, his fellow friend of his. Race team, Fast Lane Motorsports, with Speed Energy serving as the primary sponsor for a ton of races for Devontae 35 as well. Martin Truex Jr., as mentioned in the sign-up series and races I've recently done this season and the beginning of Season 4, we'll be switching over from 56, car owned by Michael Waltrip Racing, to the 78, car owned by Furniture Row Racing, which is a new racing team, the team's first ever NASCAR Sprint Cup Series outing, with Furniture Row serving as primary sponsor for Martin Truex Jr. for a ton of races this season, maybe more next season. Again, it's too early to show the door of Season 5. It's too early for that right now. Sean 1815 or 1518 making his second NASCAR Sprint Cup Series start after not a run that he was expecting at the previous race at Charlotte, with Danica Patrick putting him into the wall, not giving him enough racing room, which pops his right front tire a few laps in, and the tire gave up on him, on the last lap of the race, the car grinds to a halt on the backstretch, and the caution came out. The race was over, and Denny Hamlin won that race. He has a possible chance of going back-to-back here at Pocono, but I simply just don't know. Maybe a top 3, top 5. I just don't know yet. We'll just have to see when the green flag drops and see what these drivers have to do to win this race and punch their ticket into the playoffs. I think that is about it, so let's get right into those words that we love to hear. By the way, welcome back Jimmy Fan 48. He won't be out racing, but he will, as well as his boss and friend in the racing team that he races in for Fastlane Motorsports, the team owner of that team, NASCAR Fan 77, as he is still sidelined after that horrific crash he had at Canada in the All-Star race. So welcome both Jimmy Fan 48 and NASCAR Fan 77 as they give out the most famous words in motorsports, and the first time for Jimmy Fan 48 in a while, 1 year ago, at the NASCAR Sprint Cup Series opener race at Daytona, the first round. So, I'm going to pass the microphone to them and let you listen to them say those words. Drivers, start them engines. With those engines rolling for a taste of victory, are we going to see a repeat winner? Or are we going to see a first-time winner? Or are we going to see a driver make a comeback and win today's race for the first time in a couple seasons? Let's find out as we take a look at the starting lineup, find out the favorite driver that you signed up for is starting for today's race in 3, 2, and 1. Row 1, Matt Kenseth and Kyle Busch, your Joe Gibbs teammate, share the front row. Matt Kenseth, your pole sitter, Season 3 and defending champion. Kurt Busch and Danica Patrick. Row 2, Row 3, Casey Kane and Alec Amarola. Austin Dillon and almost at Lightning McQueen, but Kyle Larson, Devontae 35 and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Jamin McMurray and Martin Truex Jr. in a new racing team. Jimmy Johnson supporting his own foundation alongside Alex Bowman supporting the Thomas the Tank Engine Foundation. Greg Biffle and Deshaun 1815 or 1518. Ryan Newman and Kyle Jr. Ryan Blaney and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. or should I say Ryan Inside Laney Blaney, since he was part of Cars 3. Chase Elliott and Denny Hamlin coming out fresh after the win at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Carl Edwards and Kevin Harvick. Brad Keselowski and Paul Menard. We have Sam Hornets Jr. and Ty Dillon. Michael Annett and Jeff Gordon. Tony Stewart and Kyle Sr. round out the field for today's race. Jeff Gordon and Tony Stewart will start in the back of the field after their poor runs in qualifying. Jeff Gordon taps the wall and scrapes the wall for a second coming off of turn 1. And Tony Stewart, on the other hand, had the same problem, but spun out coming out of turn 3 on his last lap in qualifying. So, yeah. Just like in the ARCA and Xfinity Series races here, these Goodyear Eagles may be a problem for some of these guys. It may be a problem. Be on the lookout. I almost forgot. Before we drop the green flag, let Martin Truex Jr. give you racing tips on how to tame and experience and drive around Pocono Raceway, and give you a few racing tips on how to tame and how to race on the racetrack. And the footage of Montreal Jr. explaining how to run on the racetrack will be seen in one of the challenges on NASCAR Heat 2017 on NASCAR Heat Evolution.
Pocono is a very unique racetrack, and to take a lap around there, we'll start-finish line very long front straightaway, going towards turn 1. You're usually in high gear by the time you cross the start-finish line, so we'll pull high gear, fourth gear, all the way down the front stretch, coming to the braking zone. You'll see a 3-2-1. Usually the 1 cone's a pretty good spot to brake. Just try to stay out and arc it into 1 as much as possible, but yeah, remember, we're going to have to downshift. We're downshifting there now, so about as much as you can arc and get down in there without getting the thing loose on the downshift. And then right back in the gas early, right around the bottom, turns 1 and 2. Pretty wide, sweeping, a lot of room out off of turn 2, so you can be in the gas a long time. Carry third as far as, possible, about 9400 shift into high gear coming towards the tunnel turn. And probably the scariest turn in all of racing is the tunnel turn, because you got to go in there, 90-degree corner, not a lot of banking, and you're talking 200 miles an hour. So try to let off a little early. Again, try to hit, just really important, hit your marks. Get the entry turned in the right spot, get your apex at the right spot, and back in the gas wide open before the apex of that turn is the key to getting through there. Coming down to turn 3, really flat corner, sort of like a New Hampshire or a Milwaukee type corner. Let off early, car's really going to try to get loose going in there. But again, right around the bottom, down to third gear, and really important to carry speed off of that corner to make lap time. And then back to high gear, coming to the start-finish line, that's a lap of Pocono.
I do apologize if you did not hear Chorks clearly in the video, but I think there is HD video footage on YouTube. I think. I don't know. But again, I apologize if you did not hear Chorks clearly in the video. Blue Green here at the Pocono Mountains. Matt Kenseth looks to break that long winless drought. The same goes for Kurt Busch as he will lead the first lap of the race. Will pull away from Little Push and helping Danica Patrick, his teammate. Almirola to the inside. They both make contact. Kurt Busch up to the racetrack gets into teammate Danica Patrick as they both go around. Not the way how you want to start a race. Not the way to achieve it. Kurt Busch still remains at 0 wins with Stewart-Haas, and it's been that way for 2 years in 2 seasons. Has it been? No. Yeah, 2 seasons. Season 3 and now Season 4. And Danica Patrick, who has 0 wins currently, she will also remain at 0 wins. Okay, so right here, Kurt Busch comes down to block Almirola. They both make contact. Danica Patrick to the outside, trying to avoid them. But Kurt Busch comes to the outside, tries to get off of Almirola to prevent more damage to his race car, or both of those race cars actually. But that kind of didn't work out as he goes up the racetrack too much into teammate Danica Patrick, and they both go around, which will cost their chance to win the race. You see Montreux Jr. in the 78 go by clean in the background in one piece. Casey Kane and Kyle Busch and the others trying to avoid the crash, which they did, thankfully. And this may be surprising, but just like at Phoenix 2 years ago, in the previous season in the Cup Series, both Kurt Busch and Danica Patrick, they will not quit. Nope. No, sir. They both pitted and will try to win the race. As for teammate Tony Stewart, he will stay out and try to gain a few positions to come in the top 10 or top 5. The same goes with Kevin Harvick, as he is still hanging in the back of the bus, but trying to get up front, picking them off one at a